Sound healing. What is it? If you'd like to discover more, come and join us on Uplift today. Sound healing. I'm curious to know more. I know I've experienced it, and I'm really excited to talk to our guest today. My name is Sarah Wade. I'm joining you from Perth in Western Australia. I'm an art therapist, a mum, and so much more. Joining us today, as usual, my beautiful co-host in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, Mr. Neil Thrussell.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, as Sarah said, my name is Neil Thrussell. I am an author, a mindset and heart set coach, and I'm super excited to have my friend Sharon Carne on with us. She was one of the original guests on the Uplift show many years ago, and she was on as we were talking about couples and how working with your partner was working. And now I'm super excited to have Sharon on to talk about sound. So welcome, Sharon.
Thank you, Neil and Sarah. I'm just so honored and delighted to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah. So Sharon, so we're talking about what is when you have your corporate name is Sound Wellness. What to you is Sound Wellness?
Well, we chose that name for a bunch of different reasons, Neil. It's an interesting question. And of course, wellness is well-being. And we view it as holistic, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And sound is a cool word because it not only means sound as in the vibration we hear, it also means sound as in strong, like sound health. And it means sound as in sound judgment or sound advice, those kinds of things. Because of those multiple meanings, we thought sound wellness would be a really interesting name.
Thank you. So we're talking about the positive parts of sound. So how can sound be a positive influence in our life? Like, other than, I know I sometimes can have this negative voice in my head, but there's tools, and I assume that there's tools to help reinforce the positive in our life.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to say, Neil, that sound is food for your nervous system. And just like food, we know there's junk food, we know there's good food, and we know there's superfood. So we have junk sound, just like a jackhammer or a lot of traffic noise downtown. We have good sound, which is your favorite music. And that creates, I call it, a shower of hormones that create positive health response. And then there's super sound, which is all the stuff we get to play with, which does an even bigger shower, maybe a rainstorm of positive hormones throughout the nervous system that really helps support health and well-being in a lot of ways.
So powerful.
Sorry, go ahead.
I love the descriptions. It was so powerful. I'm assuming that sound and well-being, they go back obviously through history quite a while, but I'm assuming it would go back through your personal history too. Would that be fair to say, Sharon?
Uh-huh. I've been a musician all my life. My mom sang. My mom had the most incredible voice, so we grew up singing. And then I joined church choirs. I joined high school choirs, and played the recorder. I found a guitar under my Christmas tree at 16 years old. And we were, the universe always supports you. There was a guitar teacher just half a block away. I used to babysit for them. And so I started guitar lessons and never looked back. It just lit a fire under me that there was no way that I could even calm it down. It's still going strong.
Perfect. I personally, like you, I played the recorder in school, and I had a whole lot of musical influences growing up, and have played a variety of musical instruments. One of my personal favorites to use in client sessions are my koshi chimes. This is something that I feel like a lot of people can access and use in sessions. Just curious to know, do you have some, and would you recommend that for any particular reason or purpose?
Well, sound is a unique thing. People have a unique response to sound. So if you like chimes and if you can handle the high frequencies, absolutely. I love chimes. We have chimes all over the house and we have chimes by our front door. And I have a different kind of chime, which is similar to the koshi. It's the zephyr chimes, which are the sounds for all the seasons. And I love those. I use them at the beginning of quite a few of the events I do online and find them very relaxing because they're gentle tinkling sounds. That said, somebody who has a very highly activated nervous system, the high sounds are usually stimulants for even charging the nervous system even more. So there's part of the response and the individual response too. If you hate chimes, you're not going to want to listen to them.
We don't want to be friends with those people.
I love that when you go to a sound healer, that it's not just that one instrument. So if you do have some sort of ness to one thing or another, there is such a beautiful collective of all these sounds that can take you on this beautiful escape through your mind, through the power of sound healing. Would you mind going into some of the instruments that you personally use?
Ooh, I would love to.
You've got 50 minutes.
Well, our
Darn it.
show is now going to be 3 hours.
Okay, I'll do my best to keep it concise. I do have some sounds here so that everybody in the audience will get a chance to experience them. And
Oh, that's
I'm going to
wonderful idea.
start. I'm going to start with tuning forks because um, I have a Tibetan singing bowl, a metal bowl here, and a crystal singing bowl, which some people who go to sound baths might be familiar with, and they all have such different responses. But when it comes to a specific sound for well-being, these are called the perfect fifth tuning forks. And okay, let me try it this way. One fork is a little longer than the other one. The longer fork has the lower sound, and of course, the shorter fork, the higher sound. They're called perfect fifth. It's a name that comes from music, which means the sound is one of the most perfect sounds. And the fifth is one of the most healing sounds there is. And these frequencies, this one is 256 hertz, and this one is 384. They were studied by a music therapist, neuro and naturopathic doctor, Dr. John Beaulieu, and a neuroscientist to find out if a sound, in particular, the sound of these two forks, could stimulate one of the most important cycles in the body for health and well-being. It's called the nitric oxide cycle, and it's involved in every metabolic function we have, period. It's a huge stimulator for the immune system, emotional health, physical health, you name it. It's a wonderful cycle. And I'll tap them away from the mic and then I'll bring them over to the mic to give you a chance to hear them. And hopefully they'll sound loud enough there. Here comes the sound. So hopefully that went through okay. Oh, good. The
Yes.
interesting thing that they found in that study about these forks is that it stimulated that cycle completely naturally in less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. Incredible tool for overall health and well being. And there's another one that was mentioned in the description for the show, and that was 528 hertz, which is it's from what are called the solfeggio frequencies. And the solfeggio frequencies were a set of first 6 frequencies and then 9 frequencies discovered by Dr. Joseph Puleo back in the 1900s. Um, and late 1900s, and he found when they were tested on people that these forks had a really interesting response. I've got 4 different sets of tuning forks of different kinds of frequencies. And I can say the solfeggio set of forks that I have that have 9 forks in it are really powerful healers. Right now, in the last 3-4 years, I've been using them more, and especially for trauma. They've been very helpful for cleansing the spirit. I was cleansing the spirit to reconnect with that inner you that is the essence of you that sometimes we forget about. Anyway, 528 hertz is called the love frequency. It's in the middle of the set, the 5th one, and it represents the heart chakra also. So let me bring that one over. Now, it's a tuning fork. It's a single sound. So sometimes some people think, nah, I don't know, boring, but the sound still has an effect on you. Most people, again, individual response. Okay.
Oh, I don't know about you guys, but I felt that in my chest. Is it common
Was it
to feel these different frequencies in different parts of your body then?
Sorry, Sarah, what was your question?
Is it common to feel the different frequencies in different parts of your body? I found just then listening, I felt that in my chest area, whereas the first one didn't really connect with a specific part of my body, but then I definitely felt it in my chest. Is it a common thing for different parts of your body then to pick up on these different frequencies?
Yes, yes, and yes. What a fabulous question. Because it is. And that said, too, people who you need a certain level of awareness for experiencing the sound with your body. The sound is transmitted through the body. The body is a natural resonator for sound. However, we're not always aware of where that sound is affecting us. So how cool you felt that one in the chest around the heart
Yeah,
chakra. Yeah.
perfect. I love that we've got people joining us from all over the world, guys. If you've got a question for Sharon, feel free to drop it in. We would absolutely love to hear from you, and I'm sure she'd love to answer any questions that you may have. We'd also like to know where you're joining us from. If you'd like to share, we get into that. Neil, I can see you're absolutely busting to say something.
So you teased us with you said that you had brought a Tibetan singing bowl with you, and you teased us with it. Would you be so kind as to share the tone with us?
Oh, I would love to, Neil. Yay. Um, Here we have
Oh,
this one. This one's quite a heavy one, and a friend of mine nicknamed this bowl Incredibowl, Incredibowl, and its sound is amazing. I use this all the time, not only as introduction and many online things I do. It's used as a healing bowl, incredible massage tool that will release muscular tension, almost better than a massage. We teach a lot of massage therapists how to use the bowls to support their work in massage. Anyway, let's hear the sound. That came through okay?
Yeah. For those with a subwoofer on your computer, that was incredible. Those that are just listening on technology, it was still good, but it's beautiful in person and online. So you have a metal bowl, a Tibetan singing metal bowl, and a crystal bowl. What is besides the ingredients? Is there anything different in them?
Fabulous question. The Tibetan bowl, the Tibetan singing bowl, the metal one, has a lot of different wavering frequencies in it that we describe as wah 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 wah. And it has high notes. That time I tapped the bowl, it had a very low sound. Sometimes when I tap it, the higher frequencies and overtones come through really well. And to me, that's a shower of sound. The old bowls are a shower. And it's like it sprinkles all around you and through you. Because yes, sound goes right through you. In fact, it goes through you faster than it goes through the air. So sound will go through you, giving you an inside shower and an outside shower. The metal bowls are wonderful for that. Now the crystal bowls are more like lasers, and they go to a very well, let me rephrase that, because the crystal bowls are made out of quartz crystal. And in the experiments done with quartz crystal by one of the world's top crystal scientists who used to work for IBM for many years, discovered that quartz crystal is an amplifier, it's a transmitter, and it's a receiver. So that's what makes it very different from the metal bowls. Quartz is something that works with your mind and your heart, because it will amplify whatever's going on in here and whatever's going on in here, the person who's playing it. And so when a person is receiving the sound, they receive the intention that is layered on the sound, very much like the radio station that has like 102 FM carries the news and the music and the commercials. A sound wave like a Tibetan bowl or a crystal bowl or the voice or a tuning fork also carries your intention and your thoughts, your specific thoughts. Intention is a really important part of how they work. The crystal bowls, though, because of that ability to work with thought and amplification, are really good at lasering in on specific areas of the body or specific issues.
Cool. Very cool. So we talked about sound tools, but there's also right now you can go. It's not difficult to find somebody, a practitioner, for a sound bath. What is a sound bath?
Oh, a sound bath is an exquisite experience for most people, individual response. An exquisite experience of a whole pile of different sounds together. And they can be a mixture of when I do sound baths, they're a mixture of Tibetan bowls and crystal bowls usually, and chimes. And I always bring the chimes and a few other sounds, sometimes the tuning forks. And they guide a person through physical relaxation and mental relaxation, calming this down. And when we get the physical relaxation and the mental relaxation, that allows us to connect with that inner you, that spark of divine essence that we forget is there. And the sound bath can help support that relaxation and distraction from everyday thoughts and feelings, that we can connect with that. There are a lot of healing results, many healing results, that mostly come from when the body relaxes. It stimulates the natural healing ability of the body, and the body knows how to heal. And when we give it the opportunity, then it can be a wonderful way to support that. I've also been asked to do online sound baths, and that was a learning. That was a learning with microphone levels and testing and testing and testing. Okay, how far do I put tuning forks? I do monthly sound baths for the Wellness Universe. For this is my second year of doing them, and it has been quite fun because the tuning forks with a live group can only be heard a few feet away. When I put them in front of the microphone, everybody hears them. And so sometimes I'll give a sound bath that will be a Tibetan bowl to get us relaxed and focused. And then we do a chakra clearing with the solfeggio forks, for example, the tuning forks, and then bring in the crystal bowls to amplify your intention. Once we get everybody relaxed and connected with that spark, I love, and this is me, how I like to do them. I love to say, okay, everybody, when you hear those crystal bowls, then you bring your intention to mind because they're amplifiers. And if you're using that sound, you can bring your goal, your quarterly goal, your business goal, your personal goal right to mind, and it gets amplified. So they're really great tools for people to work with in addition to the relaxation and all the other getting that healing ability of the body stimulated too.
Cool. So do you like somewhere along we've fast forward and we've put your website on there. So on your website, do you have a place for them people to go and check out some of the tools that they could research and look at?
Yes, we have a store link at soundwellness.com. It's also on soundwellnessinstitute.com. And my husband has been quality management for decades. He now works with me on sound wellness, and he was also an engineer. So I can tell you, he tests every sound tool that comes into our store. They're really high quality tools, and we don't sell crystal bowls, but there are tuning forks and Tibetan bowls and a variety of chimes and a bunch of other things that people can explore and play with.
And yeah, what I love about Sharon's husband is when before he could work in the woo woo world, he had to have his left brain analyze and quantify and scientifically say that this stuff works. So if there's anyone out in the world that is a left brain thinker and really wants to know, Sharon and Ed have done the homework behind for the left brain thinkers that there is science, and Ed loves to go into the science, and well, so does Sharon, because she's had to work with the left brain thinker to get him on board, and I love it. And for those that don't have the financial whereabouts to be able to afford a bowl, is there anything we can do with our voice to help ourselves?
Oh, you betcha. And before I go on to the voice, though, Neil, I wanted to mention that there are a lot of recordings that also can provide a lot of support for those who are interested in exploring. We have a YouTube channel that gives you opportunity to explore a bunch of different sounds. So that also is, and there are many, many, many recordings on YouTube and on the internet, on streamed platforms that give you an opportunity to play with that. So the voice.
So I missed that you had a YouTube channel. Can they find a connection to the YouTube channel on soundwellness.com?
I think so. I think so. In YouTube, it's labeled as Sound Wellness Institute. I'll have to check, Neil. I think
Okay.
I think Ed put all the social media things on our website.
Okay. And so if not, go to YouTube and go Sound Wellness Institute. Search under Sound Wellness Institute. Okay. So yes, thank you.
The
So
voice.
what is it we can do with our voice, if anything?
The voice is fascinating because the voice is created inside of you. And we know that sound goes through you, and sound goes through you faster than it goes through the air. So when you think about it, every time you make a sound with your voice, you have already given every atom of your body I call it a sonic massage before the person you're speaking with has even heard what you're saying at the speed of sound. And when I realized that, Neil, I was motivated, you might say, and committed to becoming more aware of the sound of my own voice, because I'm giving my entire body a sonic massage with every sound I make with my voice. So I made a commitment to, as well as I can, be aware of how I'm using my voice so that my voice feeds my body with good sound rather than junk sound, which is yelling and, the other words you can say, and those kinds of things that fill your body with that energy. And
And if you can't think of those words, just remember the last time you stubbed your toe, and those
and
words will come back.
speaking of stubbing your toe, actually, I gotta do a segue on that, Neil. Besides the swear words, when you say "ouch," I call those sounds the natural voice of the body. The natural voice of the body are sounds like ah, ooh, aha. They're also ooh, oh, and moans and groans. And it's been found that those sounds, we make them automatically without thinking. Oh, and another big one. The
Mm.
sigh is the body's natural way of releasing stress. And those sounds are built in biochemical pharmaceutical drugstore we have up here. It releases endorphins that help the body manage pain. All of those, especially the moans and the groans. Now, if we take the sigh for releasing stress is rampant, and it's a huge problem for so many people. And a simple vocalized sigh can not only reduce your heartbeat, drop your shoulders, calm down your blood pressure in seconds, it allows you to have an incredibly powerful tool for relaxation and calm when you need it. Okay, let me demonstrate it, and then if you want, I can do it 3 more times so that the audience can do it too, and they can feel the effects, because it's important to actually do it rather than listen to it. Listening to it, you've got to get your own voice in those cells. Okay, so here's what it sounds like. Ah. Vocalized sigh. It puts the normal sigh on steroids as far as the release of neurochemicals that help calm down the nervous system. Okay, 3 more times, and I encourage everybody who's listening, and if you're listening to the recording, please do this too, to follow along with me. Okay, first time. Ah. Second time. Ah. Third time. Ah. Okay, notice how you feel.
Fuller in my chest. I'd love to hear from those watching us. How are you feeling right now? We'd love to get your feedback. And did you sigh along too? If you haven't, give it a go while we're talking.
And my only addition to this is don't be shy when you're doing this. Put some energy and effort into it, because it's your voice that will be doing the healing, as Sharon said. It's your voice. So put it into, and as Sharon had said previously, it's like letting go of the words. Anytime we speak, we're either adding positivity or negativity or neutrality. So if when you speak to improve the positivity around your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Can I share another sound?
Please.
Absolutely.
Okay. Another sound we could do with the voice is if you find yourself in a meeting and you're starting to get a little sleepy, and actually, let's go before the meeting because this is a little hard to do in a meeting. We can practice it before. One of the ways to charge the nervous system, if you need focus and concentration very quickly, is with a sound that is a very embodied sound. And it sounds like this, and I'll try not to blast out the microphone too much. Ho! Oh, it got the bell ringing. It's a ho. And what that does, it's a fast, low, strong sound. And what it does is it sends a shockwave through all your cells as if to say, okay, wake up. You need to pay attention. So if you're willing, we can try this 3 times and see if you notice if it makes you feel more focused, that you can concentrate more easily, that your brain is right online with you. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Here we go. All right, breathe in. Ho.
Oh,
Could be stronger. Let's do it again. Ho.
Oh.
Yep, better. One more time. One more time. Ho.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Now, in back to the board meeting. Oh, before that, what do you notice? A little sharper? A little more focused? Okay, cool. Now, the board meeting. If you're in a board meeting and you can't quite say a ho really loud, people would look at you unless you can get them to do it with you. One way to still create the same effect, to really become focused very quickly, is to do an inside ho. So your body now, your cells now know what it feels like to make that strong sound. So now do it with your inside voice. Take a breath and make the sound inside. Yeah, and do it again one more time. So you can create pretty close to the same physiological effect as when as if you actually said it out loud. Did you feel the effect that time? Was
yeah, curious.
Yeah.
I love that it sounds. I've partaken in various laughter yoga retreats, and part of that is the ha ha ho ho ho. So before, Sharon, when you were saying that ho, it sounds like that same ho that is used. Is are you aware of laughter yoga, and is that what that connection is, or have I just leapt to conclusions?
Absolutely, Sarah. Absolutely. I have my own version of laughter yoga that I love to share, and it brings in the 2 main principles in sound healing. The first principle is that low frequency sounds generally tend to discharge excess energy from the nervous system. That's stress, anxiety. It can help to calm down the nervous system. Low sounds. Higher sounds charges the brain and the nervous system. So if we bring that to laughter yoga, I like to add the heart too. We have 3 laughs. We have the ho 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 low belly laugh that creates the discharge in the nervous system. Then we have ha 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 heart opening going whoo. And then for charging the brain, especially if you're driving and you're getting sleepy, which really gives, you can use those sounds specifically for those effects, or mix them all up and you just feel better. And it, Britt, talk about positivity, like laughter yoga. It creates that flood of hormones that brings that sense of positivity and natural healing ability of the body. It stimulates the immune system, everything.
Oh, I love that. I love that you can do that. You can play with sound with a variety of people, with a variety of ages and different situations. You could break the ice, or if someone's feeling a bit one way or another, whether you take them aside and bring them into the same room as you, or if you go outside and under the night sky, you go, or whatever it is that feels right in the moment. You can do these sounds anytime, anywhere. And as Sharon said, you can do it in your mind's eye too. So thank you so much for sharing these things with us, Sharon. Beautiful energy. Appreciate that. Guys, I'm wondering if you guys have any questions about this or anything else. Please let us know.
So for me personally, I like to use sound when I need to come down and I'm just so full of energy, and I just like the tone of the hum. And it just lowers, it just brings, and I can do it quietly sitting at my desk, and I can just go, or I can be as loud, but I can do it anywhere. For me, I can hum in an elevator and people are like looking a little weird, but they don't say anything because it's not obnoxious. But yeah, I can just, for me, to dissipate energy when I know I need to be grounded and focused, simple hum. So what else? I just brought up the thing of toning. How can toning work into a person's life?
Oh, what you're saying about the hum is so perfect, Neil, because the humming is such a beautiful way to feed your body. In addition to calming down the nervous system, especially if you're using that nice low sound that you used. And another tip from the science world is that humming has been discussed in a medical respiratory magazine a few years ago. They found that humming, especially if the sound is in the sinuses, it raises nitric oxide by about 90% or something in the bloodstream. It's enormous for stimulating nitric oxide, especially if you can get it into that nasal sound. So it's, if you make a funny face, it's even better. But if you find yourself feeling a little bit low and want to give your immune system a boost, just bring the sound right up into here. You can even plug your nose and do it that way, and have some fun. It's a beautiful practice, Neil. Perfect that you mentioned that. And then toning is another thing I love to do because it uses that voice, and your voice feeds you better than any other sound in the world because your voice carries every frequency of your body, and your voice is such great nutrition for your nervous system. And toning, one of the ways I like to tone, and I do this on the Wellness Universe platform every single week for whoever wants to join, is we tone the vowel sounds for the chakras as they were developed by Jonathan Goldman in the 1980s. And we do that every single week. I've been doing it for, I think, 7 or 8 years now, every week. And there's a group of people who are there every week. There's people who drop in and when they think of it. And it's part of my spiritual practice for ending and beginning the week with balance and calm and focus. It's like putting your chakra system into a washing machine and you're going, and then you let all that stuff go from the week, and then you just ground in peace and calm and healing. One of my favorite practices. It's just brilliant.
So you mentioned that you do this every week, but when do do you do this every week? And where do you do this every week? And how do people find out about this so that they could become part of this?
Oh, it's in what's called the Wellness Universe Lounge. I think if you Google that, you'll come up with the Wellness Universe Lounge. It's on a platform called learnitlive.com. And it's sound wellness chakra toning. It's Sunday nights late. It's at 9 o'clock in the evening. And it, because for me, we're finished the day and finish the week. It's late at night. A lot of people, even there's quite a few who will join from Eastern time zone who don't mind being night owls. They'll do their chakra toning and go to bed and have a great sleep and a great week. And it just is a beautiful way to start the week. I love that practice, and it's and I love being able to do it in a community because sound is additive, and the intention with sound, even though I can't hear everybody, the intention is there. You can feel the energy of the circle, and you can feel the energy of all those beautiful voices and hearts giving themselves nutritious sound and then amplifying the sound for everyone in the group. It's just a spectacular practice using the voice and that toning. Just, I love it.
I, I I've been in groups where somebody's just randomly, there's this awkward silence in something, especially in one of my men's groups, there's an awkward silence, and somebody will just go, oh. And pretty soon, not everyone, but a majority will join in. And you have people that believe, like, I have a terrible sounding voice, but I can ohm and I will get to the right resonance and frequency. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful when people start to tone into it or ohm into it.
Can I tell an Ohm story, Neil? Because I have such an interesting Ohm story, and I love your voice. Nothing wrong with your voice.
Thank
Um,
you.
and the Ohm story, gosh, back I think it was in 2008, not long after I created Sound Wellness, I was asked to do a team building exercise for 50 librarians using Tibetan singing bowls. And I thought, oh my God, where am I going to find? I wanted to have one bowl for every two people. So I needed 25 bowls. And I thought, where am I going to find them? Well, the universe organized that just perfectly. We got a person who was a friend of my sister's who supplied us with the bowls, and I had all different sizes, and went in. Before I did the event, I had a huge question because I do know that working with sound helps people release emotional energy. And that energy leaves the body and it goes into the space. I call it energy droppings. There, we
Yep.
as human beings, we do tend to drop energy around us as we go through our emotional day. And I knew that 50 people playing 25 Tibetan bowls would release a lot of energy into the room. And I knew that that space would need to be cleared in a minute to 2 minutes so they could go on with the rest of their retreat. And I thought, how is that going to happen? And asked for insight and waited and waited. And the day before I was to do the event, I got the insight. And it was so simple. I thought, you got to be kidding me. The answer was sing 3 ohms. And I thought, okay, it's insight. I'll trust it and I'll do it. And I hope that that energy would clear the space and leave it crystal clear and clean so that people could enjoy the rest of their day. Well, we had a ball doing the Tibetan bowls. It was loud and noisy, and people met everyone all over the place. They had to teach at least 4 other groups of people how to play their Tibetan bowl. So they were meeting. They were meeting at least 10 people out of the 50 as they went around the space. And after 20 minutes of this, it was heavy and buzzy and thick and muddy, the energy of the room. It was pretty awful. They felt great. And their energy that they had released, fortunately, what a great gift to them, was in the space. So I thought, okay, at the end, I said, thank you, everybody. We got all the bowls away. I'm going to sing 3 ohms to complete our time together today. I didn't tell them why I was singing the ohms. I said we're just going to sing 3 ohms, and I said if you would like to sing with me, I invite you to do that. If you're a little worried about using your voice, then sing with your inside voice. If you don't want to participate in the ohm at all, then I just ask that you hold space, and everybody chose what they wanted to do. So I sang the first ohm, and then I sang the second ohm. And as soon as I started the second ohm, it felt like there was a breeze that came in through the windows on the left side of the room, went right through the room and out the other windows on the right side of the room. During the time I sang an ohm, one breath, and then when I sang the third ohm, it was just like sparkles everywhere, and I have never had an experience that gave me more reverence for using sacred sound than any other experience. And I realized when you use a sound like Om or any other mantra, Alleluia, Amen, we have them in every culture. And whenever you use a sound like that, that's been used in a sacred and positive way for thousands of years, there's an energy field that has been built around it. And when you use Om, you bring that, or you can, with intention, bring that energy into your space, which is what I did. I had no idea what I was doing. I just heard sing 3 Om, Sharon, and I thought, okay. It was a huge lesson for me.
Oh, I love that. The universe spoke with you, it performed with you, and I'm sure everybody picked up on something at the same time as you were sharing your experience and closing the session. Oh, beautiful. I've got a question for you, Sharon, that we haven't touched on yet. I know we've only got a short amount of time, but I'm just curious, for those who don't know so much about sound healing and sound wellness, is there any reason why maybe they wouldn't go to a sound healing? Is there any maybe contraindications or anything like that?
That's a really good point. One contraindication is pregnancy, because it's known that the fetus, the ears are the first sense to fully develop in the fetus at about 4 months. And at the speed at which sound goes through the body, the fetus is hearing everything around it from 4 months on after conception. And so it's important to respect that. Those little ears are very sensitive. And for a pregnant woman to, especially further on in the gestation, to go to a sound bath needs to be done very mindfully. Also, I would recommend, if you do that, to go stay at the back so you can leave quietly if you start to feel uncomfortable. That is, and the baby starts moving around a lot. That's very important. Another one is, and I don't know, is heart issues and possibly pacemaker. Um, sound sound is recommended, especially tuning forks. It's recommended, do not use any tuning forks on the body, especially near the heart. It can interfere with a pacemaker. And so I like to be on the safe side. Sound is very powerful. And if someone has a pacemaker or heart issues, I have experienced one woman. This is in a very noisy environment where people were playing a lot of different sound tools, and in her it created heart palpitations. And so there is a possible contraindication there, that just be mindful. One other one is sound can be a trigger for those with migraines. And so be mindful there too. It depends on the condition that you have. And and whether or not you feel that sound is a trigger for the migraines. Sound isn't for everybody, and sound healing tools aren't for everybody. And some people who go to a sound bath and have a negative experience, then that is unfortunate. There are a couple of other things that I usually mention to everyone at the beginning before I start a sound bath as far as comfort level. And sometimes you can experience discomfort as an emotional block starts moving because it's trying to find its way out. And that at times can cause a discomfort. And then it's time for discernment. So I ask that if you're feeling discomfort, then ask two questions. The first question is this something that's moving, and should I breathe through it? Breathe through it a few times. After 3 or 4 breaths, it's getting worse. Then the second question is this sound not good for me, and should I leave? Then the answer would be yes. And I know sometimes the body continues its healing response for 24 to 48 hours after the sound bath experience with many people. And it's the same thing with a sound session that I found with myself and with other people, is that there's an integration time the body goes through for 24, 48 hours. Drinking lots of water is really helpful to support the body.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's really important information for us all to be aware of and to be a part of. So if you've got any of these things that you're interested, my understanding, Sharon, is to keep to the back of the room, maybe have a chat to the healer beforehand, and maybe do it at home, would you say, maybe on a YouTube channel or something like that, or in a one-on-one session so that the sound therapist can work with you. Would that be fair to say, Sharon?
Yes, I agree, Sarah.
I remember going to a sound healing on several different occasions, and often, maybe some emotions will come flying down the face, or, different parts of your body feel all sorts of different things, whether it be, the pins and needles or hair sticking up on your arm. It's a wonderful experience. That feeling that you, like after maybe an hour or so of a group session, how would you describe that sort of elated feeling? Everyone's sort of walking on cloud nine. I'm curious, as for you, a facilitator, what differences do you notice, or that whole feeling? How would you describe that in words?
Well, in my experience with doing that's a great question, Sarah. Either doing toning circles or sound baths or group experiences toning, after about 20 minutes, there's a shift in the physical response, and what I call a peace field develops, where people connect with that inner heart after about 20 minutes. And it's such a fascinating thing. And after the last sound bath I did just a few weeks ago, that peace came into the room, and I asked everyone at the end, do you feel the peace? Do you feel the peace either in your heart, or do you feel it in the space? And everybody nodded. And I said, that is the real you. That is the real you. And for me, that is the result of any of the sound experiences, the more extended ones.
Beautiful.
So I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, oh my goodness, we were supposed to talk about this much, much earlier, like way before all of this. So Sharon, you have a gift for our viewers that are watching now or on replay. And what is your woodland song gift?
There are 3 sounds that are the healthiest sounds for human beings: wind, water, and birdsong. And this is a 60-minute track of gently bubbling water and forest birds. doesn't have the wind, but it does have the water and the bird song to help keep a relaxed body. And the bird song tends to help keep the mind focused and sharp, or just to relax. It's nature sounds. It's a beautiful opportunity to rest and relax, or work and focus.
Cool. And so there's the website there, soundwellness.com /Woodland Song, and you can find out more about Sharon. You can contact Sharon. There's contact information there. Yeah, I highly recommend you jump on board and go there if it's an interest. For Sarah and I, we're trying to build our YouTube subscribers up. So if you would be so kind, if you're watching this, wherever you're watching this, just go to www.join.uplift.show and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, 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 and please. And whoop, I got to hit the button again. And this, oh, go the right way, Neil. And this is me. Currently, I would love to share with you my 40 steps to living an incredible life. That is the current gift and enticement for you to come and to join my newsletter family. And if you're just want to get the free gift and and get the 40 steps and then unsubscribe, you will notice that there is an unsubscribe link on anything that I send you. And I'd love for you to come and join, because I've spent a great deal of time thinking about, I could have done 12 steps, but life, when you can't really live a complete and full life in 12 steps, and I couldn't do it in 100 steps, but I thought, the average person could do it in 40 steps. Oh, and so as we're winding ourselves down, I'm thinking I'd really like to leave today with that wherever you are, you carry your voice with you. It is a tool you have all the time. So I ask you to be kind and gentle to yourself and to the universe that you create around you. Don't add to the negativity. Build the universe up with your positive vibrations. And if you have nothing nice to say, then maybe don't say it at all. Don't even think the thoughts. Don't even voice it. Sharon, is there something you would like to leave our viewers and audience members with?
Oh my gosh, what you said, Neil, was just perfect. It was just perfect. I couldn't add anything better to that.
Thank you. Sarah, how would you like to take us out to the end of the show today?
Oh, I just want to appreciate Sharon for joining us today. She's a wealth of information, and I'm sure that you guys have gathered that too. So if you haven't already yet, go and check her out on YouTube. Go to her other places that you can connect, and maybe even join her in a sound healing. Now, if Sharon isn't in your time zone, doesn't work for one reason or another, there are so many local people wherever you are around the world that you can connect with, and I'm sure would love to have you with them. I know that I love sound healing. I'd love to hear if you love sound healing. Let us know how you emote yourself with sound. We would love to know that. And until next time, guys, design the life you desire. You're worth it. Take care.
Take care.